So a very chaotic start there from the GT3 field here at Nürburgring. This is going to be daily race C for this week. I also have a new sponsor, as you guys can see, starting off the new year strong with a new sponsor. Bucked Up Energy is who I am now sponsored by. If you use code DDogs2020Gaming on your purchase with Bucked Up, you'll get 20% off, as well as support us in our racing league. The product's actually pretty good itself. I always buy them. You can get them at gas stations, online, however you want to do it. They do pre-workout and energy drink cans. And honestly, the white gummy deer, I think is what they called it. It's like a gummy bear. It's probably one of the best flavors out there. But they do have sampler packs, so if you guys are interested, go ahead and look on the website, look for the sampler pack, and use that 20% off discount. I'll put it in the video there so you guys can see it. I'll label it so you know exactly how to spell it and what to do with it. But ending lap 1 now, up into P3 after starting in P5. I moved down 1 position and then gained 3 back. And O'Dare will have a 2.0 second penalty in front of me. We're going to be on lap 2 out of 9. There is a pit requirement. You have to pit at least once in the race. It looks like someone just got taken out. And the King and Crazy have both gone down, and I am gone up to P1. King and Crazy are right behind me, though, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem as they're going to battle and try to look for an overtake on me. King going a little wide there. Crazy's going to overtake him, but King's going to have the inside line. I think he's going to be able to defend. No, he just pushes Crazy right off the track. That works, too. I know this track's not a lot of people's strong suit, but I guess he doesn't like using his brakes. I believe I'm going to take my pit somewhere on lap 4 or 5. I can't remember. But I am up into P1 now. I'm going to see if I can lead a couple laps if I can. This is going to be a very crazy race, to be honest with you. It's going to be more of a who has the better strategy. And I think I'm going to go into the pits on lap 4 or 5, maybe halfway through the race. Usually I would go in earlier or super late in the race, but I think I'm going to go right in the middle this time and kind of cut it in half. But so far, it looks like I'm just pulling away from 2 and 3. They're going to battle each other. Maximilian has taken over P4 and took King and dropped him down into P5. So there it is, the Bucked Up Energy Porsche 911 RSR for the DDRU racing team. I will always keep the number 99. I'm stuck with it since my username is stuck. Coming around the final corner here. Going to start lap 3 out of 9. We got 7 to go. 6 next time by. I will set a 1:59.88 or 8:44, and Wisco runs. Max actually gets the fastest lap there. 1:59.564. I might not have the best pace, but I am a pretty decent driver whenever it comes to having a plan, such as pitting, having a good strategy, and going into the pits on the right time. Still leading the pack now. I'm running 0.2 seconds faster this lap around or through this section. Trying to get that fastest lap if I can. I'm not going to get the clean race bonus because of how many people got hit in the very beginning. But I should be able to have a pretty decent race here. I started in P6, I believe. I think I started in P6, and I'm in P1 on lap 3 out of 9. And I'm pretty quick through this section right here. Later on during the race, you'll see I kind of gain a little bit of time. You can't see the time stamps, but I gained a little bit of time on the P1 driver later on in the race through this section, but then he loses me in some of the extra corners. But now Crazy has pulled away from Wisco, so now he'll be able to try to focus on catching up to me. Sorry guys, it's a little late. Almost getting sideways there. Oh, I do get sideways coming out of it though. up into the final corner here. I think a couple of these guys might go into the pits. We'll see. Maybe not. I still don't have the fastest lap, and I've got 2 Ferraris, it looks like, behind me. Crazy and Max are both in those Ferraris, and it's going to be a little bit sketchy because Crazy is a pretty fast driver, as you can see down there at the bottom left. He has the fastest lap, a whole second almost faster than me. I think it is the second faster than me, actually. But it will all come down to who has the best pit strategy. He goes a little bit wide there. If I had known that you could go that wide on that corner and not get a penalty, I probably would have been faster. But because I don't want to risk it, I didn't get the fastest lap. So me and him are actually going to start pulling away from P3 and the rest of the field. And it might end up with me having to battle him for the P1 spot. He goes a little bit wide coming through that corner, but I think he might hit the apex coming out of it, which I think is what he wanted. Through the very swift S-curve there, and he's caught up to me just a little bit. Looks like he's got the slipstream as well, I believe. He's right there. I've just got to try to get him out of this next corner. I think I do carry more speed than him, though. It looks like I do. I pull away from just a little bit there. Coming out of that final corner, or that last corner. Coming up to the chicane now. He's got the slipstream. So at any point, he might be able to make a pass. I think this is where I go into the pits. It looks like I am going to go into the pits. So you do have to pit one time. You don't have to change anything. But I think my tires are about halfway right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the pits here. And go ahead and change my tires here. We're on the medium compound. It's not raining, so we don't need anything else. I'm just going to make sure that I have fresh tires. That way, when I get back on the track, I might be able to outrun some of these other guys who have really worn out tires. So I'm getting past, dropping down to P7, P8, and back up to P7, it looks like. Okay, so I'm in P8 now. After pitting, I went from 1st to 8th. And McQueen is who I'm going to look to try to overtake here and get that spot back from him. He made a mistake earlier, so we'll see if he makes a mistake again. If I try to put a little bit of pressure on him. I think I hit that corner a lot better this time around. McQueen and Demina. McQueen has a 0.5 second penalty. Demina is going to try to play defense on McQueen here. It looks like they both go wide as the dust starts flying. I had to avoid him there, and I get by him. Up into P5 I go. And they're going to drop down just a little bit. Now I'm going to have to try to track down the P4 driver if I can. P3, 2, and 1 as well. Wisco now in P1 after me. And where'd the other guy go? One of the guy that was racing me at the very beginning. I think he also went into the pits. I don't know where he went. Unless I'm being goofy, I think King is the one that I was racing. I can't remember who it was. Wisco's going to go into the pits. King's going to go into the pits. Max is going to go into the pits. And O'Dare will stay out. So I am on a fresh set of tires. So I'm going to pass 2, 3, and 4 here. I don't know if they're going to swap tires or not. It looks like Rayo's going to go into the pits as well. And I'm going to be up in a P2. So now my job's going to be to try to track down O'Dare if I can. We've got 4 laps to go till the end of the race. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go on board with me real quick. and I am going to mute my mic so you guys can just listen to the car and watch me kind of drive and try to catch up to O'Dare here. So we're going to go ahead and go full throttle. So a little bit of a late shift there. I think I shifted, actually an early shift. I shifted up and had to shift back down to get my RPMs back up because I was not going to be able to carry speed through that corner. A little bit of a mess up there coming out of that corner. And O'Dare is still in P1, but we have a pretty big gap to Wisco and Max. So I think I'm just going to focus on trying to catch up to O'Dare here, if I can. He's got the fastest lap of 158.082. My fastest lap was a 159.118. So he definitely has the better pace, but I don't think he's gotten into the pits yet. If he has to pit, I might be able to pull away with a P1 here. And I think that would have been the strategy, is go halfway through the race. But he's got a pretty decent gap on me. But the gap from me to Punks looks like it's going to be maybe 20 seconds. If not 15. We'll see if O'Dare goes into the pits this time around. It doesn't look like it. I think he's going to stay out. O'Dare will stay out. He will keep going. He has not pitted for 8 laps now, or 7 laps. We're going to have 2 to go next time by. Oh, sorry, we have 2 to go now. And I have a pretty big gap between me and P3, but P1 and me, it could be achievable if he has to pit. Because if he pits on the final lap, I think I might be able to pull away with it. Oversteering just a little bit there. I think I'm driving the car a little hard trying to catch up to O'Dare, but I shouldn't be worried about it. Because he hasn't pitted yet, and if he doesn't pit, then he'll get a penalty. And I think I might be able to save that, save the race. Because I think each penalty that you get for not pitting is a minute. See the brakes getting hot there and starting to glow coming around that corner. 0.02 of a second slower this lap. We're on that section there. And O'Dare has had a pretty steady race, 158.082 being his fastest lap. And he might be pretty safe with it right now. He's still got a really big gap on me. as we go and get ready to start this final lap. Within 3 corners, we will have the white flag. And we'll see if O'Dare goes into the pits now. Looks like he is. O'Dare goes into the pits, and it's going to allow the 99 bucked up energy car to get around him. Up into P1 now on the final lap, and I'm going to have a pretty big gap as it takes a little bit to get into the pits and get situated. So I think I'm actually going to pull away with this race. My first race on with the new sponsor. And I think it might be a P1 here. With a little bit of a straggler there on the other side of the track. Not too far from me. He's kind of lost his way there, and he's a lot further behind. But the gap between me and second is just too big for him to be able to make up on the final lap. And I think I'm going to be able to pull away with this one. First race on with the bucked up energy. And I'm going to pull away with the P1. We're going to go on board with me real quick in the actual first person, not the passenger seat. We're going to go first person here. And I'm going to mute so you guys can watch me finish this race off. And we're going to go ahead and mute. And there it is, taking the checkered flag here at Nürburgring GP. P1 in the bucked up energy car, the Porsche 911 RSR Devil Dogs Motorsports. And I'll take the P1 here. My first race on with the new sponsor, and it is a P1. Imagine that.